A few people have asked if I'd consider covering Angel, and I must admit that initially my thoughts were meh. I used to use the station years ago. I used to work at this place for a bit, so there's a little bit of backstory for you. Angel never struck me as a particularly exciting station. I guess that's the case with any station that you use every day. I mean, it has a really long escalator, but what else is there to say? So I did a little more research, and I changed my mind, kid. So we're going to look at Angel Station.
I claim nothing, Richard. But I am an angel.
Mr. Islington. Sir.
Angel is in Islington. This whole area of Islington is known as the Angel. As with so many places with unusual names, it's named after a pub. There is still a pub called the Angel, which is a Wetherspoons, but that's not the original. The original was a 17th century coaching inn, which provided a refuge from the various footpads, highwaymen and ne'er-do-wells who frequented the area. That was later replaced with this rather magnificent structure in 1903. You have to admire that old-fashioned optimism that says, we're going to put angels on here because this will always be the Angel forever. That being said, the building was nearly knocked down in the 60s to make way for a widened road. Thankfully, that scheme failed. So that's the origin of the Angel, the place. Let's talk a bit about the Angel, the station. The station actually predates that building, and it was originally opened in 1901. It was originally sited a short distance away before being moved in 1992. But unlike a lot of stations that have been resited, you can actually see the original. It's right behind the current one. Angel was built by the City and South London Railway. Now, the City and South London Railway originally opened in 1890 and only went as far north as King William Street, near what's now Bank. The line was extended north in sections. The first extension was to Moorgate in 1900, then to Angel the following year. Angel was a terminus for a few years until the line was extended to Euston in 1907. Euston was where the City and South London Railway really wanted to be because it was, and still is, a major mainline station, lots of passengers. In 1933, the City and South London Railway became part of the Underground, and Angel was now on the Northern Line. But unlike many stations that got taken over, Angel wasn't rebuilt or modernised. And the reason for that was simply that the area was pretty down market at the time. It lies outside what is traditionally considered central London, although these days it is firmly within Zone 1. It was heavily industrialised, and the population was largely working class, not the sort of people who'd be taking the tube into the city. Actually, the next station up the line at City Road closed altogether in 1922 due to a lack of use. But Islington's fortunes were to change. From the 1960s, the area started to become fashionable. Within a couple of decades, the stereotype of the Islington dweller was an upper-middle-class yuppie. Exactly the sort of person who'd commute, in fact. By the late 80s, Angel was beginning to show its age. Not only did it still have the old City and South London building, not that there's anything wrong with that, but below the surface it was wholly inadequate for passenger numbers. It used lifts instead of escalators. More unnervingly, it had an island platform. That is, one platform between two tracks. This arrangement can still be seen at Clapham North and Clapham Common further down the line. This meant that the platform could become dangerously overcrowded, particularly at rush hour. So in the early 90s, the station was completely rebuilt. A new tunnel was dug and the northbound track was rerouted. Where the northbound track had been was filled in, resulting in the southbound platform becoming unusually wide, at least for the underground. To accommodate the escalators, a new ticket hall was required, which was built into an office block. And what escalators? At 200 feet long, they're the longest on the underground and the second longest in Britain. Heathrow Terminal 5 is number 1, if you're curious. There was even an incident in 2006 when a gentleman attempted to ski down the escalator, which I must emphasise is something that you should not attempt. It will not be as hilarious as it sounds. Well, unless you have a very sick sense of humour. And that's not even the only escalator. A second set of escalators are required to get the rest of the way down. Angel is on a hill, so it's a long way to tunnel level. The station remains as popular as ever, but it could get even more popular in the future. It's been proposed to include it on Crossrail too, though when and if that happens, God only knows. Perhaps the Angel can ask him. I hope you enjoyed this angelic tale from the Tube. If you did, you can click the like button as an easy alternative to singing hosannas. Be not afraid of subscribing for more content. Thanks as ever to my donors on Ko-fi and Patreon. You are the flames to my flaming sword. And now I must bid you halo and goodbye. I'll see you all again very soon for another tale from the Tube.